let's move us closer
Us
because
closer?
if we move the table,
This is welcome to the Lemon and Honey Company studio.
our little studio.
This is adorable.
Thank you.
Adorable. I love it so
Here,
much.
I'm going to start on
Look
your
how
hair.
good this is. And this is, I did this on purpose because Amie, this is my friend Amie Pendle. She is the owner. And oh yeah, you're not even in this. I see.
No, you're good.
There we go.
We're going to focus on you real quick.
So she started her new company. Tell us about your new company, Amie.
Okay, so, well, we started out, can we just first talk about like how wild starting a business actually is?
Well, we will get into that. We will get so into that.
PTSD over here. So we started, my little 6-year-old and I, here we go, started this heatless curler company, and it's been so much fun because we get to make people have like beautiful hair. Like who doesn't?
Effortlessly.
Well,
I'm gonna say
take
for
me
the
a
first
second.
couple times it's not so effortless.
Almost, it's a little bit tricky for me to do it on other people, but when I do my own hair at nighttime, it takes me 2 minutes tops, like a minute on each side.
Yeah.
And then my hair is like, we're going to take this out later, but then my hair is just like beautiful in the morning. And it takes me 5 seconds to take it out.
And this is not only a draw for anybody as far as time goes, but it is a draw for the travel mama. Hello.
Yes.
Like
I was like, just not having to worry about hot tools.
Carrying them, one, carrying them, they're bulky, they're annoying, carrying them. Two, having to have the right outlets. And some people don't realize that our hot tools and our flat irons create too much wattage. And so when you go to a different country or on a cruise, it'll burn out your tool. So I learned this the hard way on a cruise. Took my chi, it was just my chi on the cruise, and after plugging it in once, it burned it out.
The ship goes dark in the middle of the ocean.
We'd sink to the bottom of the ocean because I used my flat iron. No, it's true. So having this was, remember, I was just in the UK and this whole new trend had just started, this whole wrapping your hair thing. And we went to Scotland and I went to a grocery store and I bought like headband, like a satin headband, and I cut it in half. So I was like, oh, that'll work. But that only it wasn't long enough.
Yeah.
So it pretty much ended up only doing one side. So I have a video of me in Scotland doing one side with one of my kids' socks and one side with this satin.
You know, which is wild because the sock bun like trend has been around forever.
Right. You know? I was Googling like, what can I wrap in my hair?
There are multiple types of curlers out there. Like this isn't anything new, you know, but I was drawn to the silk curler because when you have frizzy hair, silk is non-damaging for like number one. It's not going to cause friction at nighttime. And I actually started with the silk pillowcase for just that reason. So now I sleep on a silk pillowcase and I use my silk curlers and my hair is just like the happiest.
And tell us why this all started.
Oh yeah.
So you
I actually had no idea.
Unique.
I had no idea that silk anything. I thought it was like just for like rich people, you know, like growing up and you're like,
it's just bougie.
Yes, silk bed sheets and silk pillowcases. Well, my daughter was a super preemie. She was born at 30 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
And she was 2.8 pounds when she was born. So she kind of inspired this whole journey because as she started growing up, her hair just was, I think they said it has something to do with just being a preemie, but it was so wild, so brittle, just damaged so easy. And as a mom, of course, I wanted her to have curls and I wanted her to like have straight, pretty hair. So here we go.
Okay. Are you kidding me? Look at this. Hang on. Look, she just tied it in a knot back here. Like, okay, because where I got stopped up is trying to like do the scrunchie on the end.
Oh, yeah.
And you just tied it in a knot, like with the actual roller. Blinks. Blinks.
Okay, we're good. No, I have been sleeping in mine overnight, so it's a lot looser than yours, and she's ready to come out, but we'll wait.
It's going to be like, va, va, va.
Oh, I'm so excited. That's like my favorite thing is like taking it out and being like, because I'm not standing in front of the mirror for like 30 minutes, like doing section at a time, like hearing my hair going.
Yep.
And my curls last for days. And as they fall, they just turn into like a nice beach wave.
I love it. So continue. So she had this brittle
yeah,
hair
so
because she was a NICU
super
baby.
brittle hair. And so I laid off. I was really bad at first. I actually did use the blow dryer and like curling iron. And I was just like,
because you wanted those
there was
curls.
breakage. I would literally be brushing her hair and it would just be like little breakage pieces. And it's so sad. Like on a 3-year-old, that's sad.
Yeah.
So I got her a silk pillowcase at first. I have a reel on my Instagram. She would come out and have you seen those reels where it's like from Beauty and the Beast where it's like there goes the crackhead that I see.
Oh.
And she like comes walking in and her hair is
baby
just like
crackhead.
yeah, it's like wild and huge. And then that's when I was like, we got to do something about this. And I actually did some content for a woman who did hair extensions, and she made a reel once about it was a head dummy like that they use at the beauty salons, you know, with the hair. And she was like rubbing it on a pillow, and she's like, "This is what happens when you sleep on a cotton pillowcase, and this is what happens when you sleep on a silk." And I was like, "Silk."
There's
friction.
a difference.
Yeah. So I got Brooklyn a silk pillowcase, and that was like the start of everything. Because then I fell into the silk curlers. And she loved them. Like she would cry if I wouldn't put her curlers in the evening. And for so long, I was like, "You're just so dramatic." Well, it turns out she was crying because she does not like me brushing her hair. So in the morning, when you have curls, you don't brush curls. Like you finger them. You know, you get your comb them out. But she preferred that because she didn't want me to brush her hair in the morning because her head was sensitive. So we started that, and I don't even remember what like sparked the like I want to start a business. We were just driving to California, and I've always known that I wanted to get out of photography and use that skill for myself. And this just kind of like fell into my lap, and I was like, let's do it. And then next thing I know, I was like emailing manufacturers and designing a brand and sitting on my hand. Oh, the worst part was just sitting on my hands, like waiting for the first products to show up. And then when they finally did, I was like terrified. Like,
now what?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, it's real.
Yeah. Because when you're not a huge influencer, like you're like, how do I get that traction? You know, and especially because there are huge influencers, and they'll just like the dumbest thing. They'll be like, I designed a scrunchie, $50, and they sell out.
Wait a minute. Okay, let me just stop right there and say that we are all so stupid to be influenced by something like that. Like, get control of yourself, guys. Like,
unless it's my curlers, like.
But really, that's something that's legit a product. Like I just explained that for my lifestyle, is an actual necessity.
Oh yeah,
like it will save time. We pack in backpacks.
You can shove it in a shoe.
Yeah, you can like. Hey, shove it in a
shoe. You know,
we pack in backpacks. That's kind of our thing. Is another travel family just talked about how it was like a real point of view. Spent hours and hours and hours trying to save and find the most inexpensive flight, and then got dinged $190 to check their bag. And I'm like, guess what? 8 years, over 65 countries, never checked a bag. And he's like, well, when you do it full time, I'm like, a 10-month stint isn't full time. Like, I mean, it is.
Oh yeah.
We just went through 6 months was the hardest I've ever had to pack, because we went through summer, fall, and winter.
Oh, damn.
So how do you pack that in backpacks? You buy stuff. You donate stuff.
Well, and the best part about these is like you don't need a blow dryer.
Yeah.
That's the whole purpose. You don't need a curling iron or a flat irons, because the curlers do multiple styles of curls. So depending on if you want the Shirley Temple curls, then you do them at night, like really tight. If you have like wild, natural, air dried hair and you're like, I just want it smooth, put it in for 30 minutes. It's not going to like curate those, or it's not going to cure those curls, but it will like soften your hair. Like you're going to see like when we're done with this, you're just going to have like smooth hair.
So the only difference, what's the difference? You explained the difference between the cotton and the silk.
Yeah.
But why the tube versus, say, the bathrobe?
Okay, I love I guess it is like a tube, the cylinder curler, because it gives volume. And I like volume. I think a lot of people like volume. So, and I'm sure that there's actually, don't hold me to this, but I've never seen anybody use the flat like bathrobe style and actually have volume without having to like add product.
Well, the thing that I found, because I have been using the bathrobe one, and that's my first attempt, is the problem I have with it is I twist the bathrobe with my hair, and you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah,
You're
'cause
supposed to keep it flat.
Yeah, because when you twist and twist, it will
Like,
loosen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's like a double negative.
Yeah.
It's like two
Well,
twists
and that's like with
create no curl.
exactly. So, and I even like teach that with this is like, cause you get to the end and you start doing this where you're wrapping the hair and the curler. And it's like, no, keep the curler
curlers
stationary and wrap the hair around the curler.
Right.
So,
Right.
but yeah, it gets really hard when it's flat like that because you naturally want that like round
and it gives.
surface.
It gives.
Yeah.
So it
I
just
could see
goes
that.
with your hair. So
See, and that's the only time that I haven't tried. I've tried all the curlers. So I like to say that I'm an expert.
Right.
There's no wrong way to do the curlers, which is nice because you've seen the people do the unicorn curl where it's like the curler come in. Have you seen that?
No,
Okay,
it's
so
cool.
you put the curler this way.
Okay.
And then it's like French braiding where you're like wrapping the hair back and forth all the way. So I
think
haven't
one
tried
of my
that one.
members' daughters did that to her.
It
And I
looks
told her to
cool.
do a video for me.
It looks cool. But I mean, I haven't tried it, but then there's like what I just did to you, the one-way curl, and then there's the double-way curl on each side. And I've done that. I've also tried the octo curlers. Have you seen those? Where it's like a headband. This is what I started with. It's a headband, and it's called octo curl because they have little sections that come off that are silk, and then they have little rubber bands at the bottom.
And so you wrap.
So you wrap a bunch of little. Yes,
but that seems like Shirley Temple. You're going to come out with Shirley Temple,
unless you do it like light and with dry hair. So dry hair won't hold the curl as well. But here's the problem. I would literally wait until the lights were off and my husband was like going to sleep because I did not like how I looked.
You look like an old Victorian novel.
No, you look like Medusa. Like with these like little snakes all over your head. And wait until I swear. I would wait and I got really good at doing it in the dark. And when I found this, I was like, I look like a medieval princess. Like this is something that I didn't mind wearing.
Pretty.
I literally walked my child into preschool this morning. Didn't get a look.
No.
Because nobody cared.
Oh my gosh. I love
But if I had walked in with my Medusa curls,
you'd get looks.
They'd be like, ooh.
It's like have you seen Miss Maisel?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. It's like when she sneaks out of bed every morning before her husband wakes up to get ready and then slides back into bed. But
that's what I would do. I would like some mornings. And it's not that like I'm scared for my husband to see me ugly, but I want to always look my best.
Guess what? I wear a pair of pajamas right now that my mom got me.
Yeah.
That I love because I found after this last baby, like, that of course it's
over beauty.
But not even that, but the 2 set pajamas that have the buttons down the front. That's like the easiest for nursing, totally. Most comfortable, especially. I do too.
Yeah.
Most comfortable on the C-section scar, like everything. And he's like, so it must just be the pattern of this newest set.
Oh God.
But he's like, these are like your mom's pajamas. And he said that, and I was like, nobody wants their husband thinking of their mom when they're trying to climb into bed.
Absolutely not. Well, sometimes you do, but yeah, don't touch me. Don't touch me. But like, so how I would wait till he was like, it was dark and he was going to sleep with the curlers, and I would wake up before him to take them out.
Yeah.
And so one morning I panicked because first those have like little rubber bands at the bottom. It's not silk, so it's harder on your hair to get around. I panicked and I was like, I couldn't get the little rubber band on. I ripped
all your hair.
It was like that rubber band. So I ruined like part of the curl because I did it on like 3 sections. I just wanted it out. I was like, oh. And then I'm like laying there with my perfect little Shirley Temple curls. But yeah. So
well, and that just reminds me of when I was little and my mom used to do the ripped sheets. You know, the ripped sheets. She used to do our hair like that.
Oh, my mom used to use the sponge curlers.
Yes, we did.
Oh, those would hurt to sleep in.
Hurt so bad.
I was like 6 and I could not get any sleep.
And we'd go to church because there's 5 girls in our family, 3 boys, 5 girls.
Wow.
And so she would do our hair like that, and it was just like
the thing.
Yeah.
Like I wish I could pull something.
The tightest perm. And my sisters had long hair, and it was like the tightest perm, and it was just like.
I wish I could pull some pictures right now if I were prepared. But that was like me from 1st grade to 4th grade, probably.
Put it with the reels. Put it with it.
It was like, oh, this is another mission. Like save the little girl's head. Yes. Like make it so they can sleep.
Let them sleep.
I did not sleep at all when I was little.
Oh my gosh, my husband is texting me, and like I said, I'm recording. What the what, dude? Well, what would you tell other women that are looking to start something Because like we said, actually, before we get to that, what has been your most like triggering, traumatizing with, I didn't expect this? I think I know what it is. I'm going to tell you after you answer what I think it is for you, just from what I've known and heard. But starting your own business, or like the that when something happens, you're like, are you freaking kidding?
So I think the hardest part, it would come to community. You fully, and this is where I get like so jealous of like some women's that have these like amazing best friend groups where it's like you can do anything and the girls will just like cheer you on and then be like, you got this, you're number one.
I'm going to pause you and come back to that.
Yeah.
Don't you worry.
So it's hard when you're not like in this community of women and you're looking for people to rally around you, and gets really sad. This is sad. When we first started, I reached out and I even made a reel, and I was just like, if you see this, if I've ever like made you happy, like if you're following me for a reason, like I need your support. Like I literally asked people, I need your support. Please share this. Like I'm not going to be able to get this off the ground on my own. I need help. Nobody reshared it. And
did I know?
I don't know. You probably. But
really?
Break my chair. But the people that I thought would didn't. I even sent out a group text message to like all the girls that I like invited to my birthday parties and stuff, and I was like, can I send you guys a heatless curler, and will you make a video for me?
Right.
Like it doesn't have to be professional. It could just be like before and after pictures. I just need like customers, like real people who aren't
you need the
user generated content. And a couple of people were like, yeah, and then nobody did it. And I was just like, and that gets really hard because then you're like, if they don't believe in me, why am I believing in me?
Yeah, you have to be able to really talk yourself up.
Yes.
Like, talk yourself off ledges.
Oh, totally.
But be able to talk yourself up.
Because I was like, I will say, I'm the biggest quitter. Every time I've like tried something, I like wrote a book. That's fun. But when it came to promoting it, I was like, no, thanks. Like, just stuff like that. I would just quit. It's easier to just quit than to like try and fail. And this is the first business where I've been like, no, like I'm gonna do this. Like you wait. Like I can like you just feel it. It's like God tells you, like, this is what you're gonna do. And I'm gonna do this with my daughters, and then they're gonna be set too because they love it just as much as I do. And then someday if they don't want to do it, like that's fine. We'll sell the business or we'll let it go. I don't care. But in this moment, there's not even a fiber of me that wants to quit. If anything, I feel more like, okay, I got this. Like I have setbacks, like when ads aren't working and sales are low, like I have those days where I'm like, why am I doing this when I feel like everything in the universe is just roadblock after roadblock? But eventually one friend did make a video for me, and I was able to use that for an ad. And just it's slowly picking up traction, and I still believe like it's gonna be great. We're gonna come back on this in like 5 years, and we're gonna touch base and be like, see, I told you.
Right.
I told you.
That's I was gonna say, but you've touched on a few things, but I was gonna say it was that one time when you had product come or something and it was horrible.
Oh gosh.
Something was wrong.
Was
it your
that was like,
stickers or was
no,
it
it was the bottles.
the bottles?
Yeah. So I created these little custom
your cute little
argan oil
ones, the
yeah,
oil ones.
Yeah.
Oh, they're
And
adorable now.
the company like printed them on the sides where there's seams, and so they put the logo like right over the seam. And I was like, first of all, you shouldn't even see a seam. The whole batch was bad. Like that was just one of the setbacks where I feel like starting this, I was constantly like hitting these roadblocks, and I was like, Lord, like what am I doing? Like, is this a sign? Are you trying to tell me?
It's learning.
And then I remember I was sitting by myself one day, and I was like, you know what? Like I have to have these setbacks. Like it can't look easy. I can't make millions and millions of dollars and then be like, it all came just so easy to me. Like that would be a bitch move. Would I like it?
Would be sweet.
But, right? But that's not like realistic. Like we have to have the struggles. And I was terrified when those bottles came in. I was filming.
You were filming.
I was like,
because you were excited to show them off, and we got your like.
I like the camera to Bobby, and I was like, okay, film my reaction. And I was just like, what? And Bobby was like, it's fine. I'm like, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
And I still, behind you, this whole wall is lined with boxes of those. So I reached out to the company and they were
You should do a sample sale just because it's still the same product, you know, and just have it like at a garage sale or that one place down in St. George that's you can sell your stuff. Have a little tailor there.
Yeah. My whole thing is like, I just don't want ugly.
No, I know that,
my
but
brand
you
related.
still have the oils in them that like I wouldn't care because I know you.
Right.
I know what your products are, and you would like die if anyone saw the ugly ones.
I would die. I would die. I just like wanted to cry, and I still haven't gotten the new bottles, but there was a handful out of the batch. Like I went through every bottle and just finally found like maybe 20. Right. So I have some that I haven't even listed them yet, but I'll list them and then we'll see.
Right.
Yeah, no, the company reached out and they were just like, we'll fix that. We'll make it right. And I'm like, but how long is it going to take?
Well, I want to talk about, you talked about not having this group of girls and this. Is that a you or a me? It's not me because I'm not locked. Yeah. So it's me. Sorry, guys.
Somebody will figure it out.
They shouldn't be able to hear it.
No.
That's what's so interesting is, and we were just talking about this with a company that's already got their name out, and you reached out and you were starting to tell me.
I was so excited about this.
And you guys are so excited because you have this very, very like uniquely aligned mission behind your products. And so I'm sitting here going,
and she said that. Yeah.
And then it was like,
oh, I got the major A. I got the,
and that's the
back. Hard part.
So, and it's this woman-owned business, this women, and it's when women get off on saying women supporting women, and then they don't. They obviously don't. And I have felt this. I've come up against this as well. And it makes me want to do it harder. Yeah. It makes me want to do it better. It makes me think the next person that comes to me for something, and that really truly is what my whole community is about, is women coming to me. And this is me giving freely of my own time. I'm not making making bank here. Like I'm putting my own money into this and using the money that I get from the community to try to either give back to my community or like we've just had a whole run of babies being born and baby gifts, like and anyway, but it's it makes me want to do it harder to make up for them not doing it.
Yeah. And that's funny because I was at Michael's last week and this lady walked up to me and she recognized me from Instagram. And you know, almost like it's like an ego thing where you're like, yes, I am. You know,
I am the brandographer.
But legit like cornered me and then just started like rapid fire questions about like, you know, how to start a product and like all these things. And I was totally happy to answer them. I would like excited. Yeah. And I was like, well, first do this and then do this. And then I was like, if you have any questions, reach out to me on DM. Like, I don't know this lady, but she knew me and she was excited and she had something that she was passionate about. And I'm like, chase it. Like, chase it so hard. Even if like nothing comes of it, like you'll never regret chasing something that lights you up. So that felt really good. So when I reached out to this owner of this company, I was stoked because her company was always something that I kind of like was like a goal, you know, on my pin board. I was like, I want a building that size and I want that many employees but mine's going to have a pink door, you know, like things like that. And so I was really excited to like reach out. And though when she reached back and kind of gave me the ick, you know, I was just like,
it was almost like patting you on the head.
Yeah. Like I'm adorable so glad that you love my company. Yeah. Maybe someday we can go to lunch.
Someday you'll be big enough.
I was like, how much money do I have to make when this someday comes? And then by then, no, you're not coming to lunch with me.
Do you know what's interesting about things like that as well is it's like, okay, you may have this brand.
Yeah.
What are you in life?
Yes.
Okay, because behind this brand, what is going on in your life? Are you successful at it? Like, do you... Not that anybody ever has an excuse to treat people that way, and she's probably really busy, and she doesn't realize.
And maybe she didn't even realize she came across like
that's
that.
What I mean. She doesn't. Maybe she doesn't even realize, and we'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
But I always think about you don't even know what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Like you have a very successful life. Yeah. You have a very comfortable, very blessed life. For sure. That has nothing to do with this company. This is something you're doing because you're passionate about it. Yeah. And you're hoping that it will help.
Oh, totally.
Families.
Totally.
And you're doing it so basically out of the kindness of your heart. And you're doing it for your
Keep going.
6-year-old. You're building a business with your 6-year-old to teach her life lessons. To be a girl boss as you're raising her. So I'm saying it's funny that you could be, I mean, you don't compare success in life because it's how you define it. But that's what I think about as well is, like, okay, so Rick's starting this new company and I started 2 years ago. Like I started 2 years ago and I was going up against what I thought to be all of these people these women that are entrepreneurs and so successful in business and yada,
the
yada,
boss
yada.
girls.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm a stay-at-home mom. Like I've run businesses, but I don't think about it in terms of that. I had 8 vacation rentals that I remodeled. You know, we bought each one. I remodeled, I managed, I cleaned, I did everything. I was all the hands-on. And so I'm doing these things. My resume is large, but I don't think of it that way. Because I'm a mom. I'm a stay-at-home mom.
Same.
So I sit down to interview these women and I'm terrified. But then I see kind of a glimpse into what it looks like. What it looks like their entrepreneur versus what their life looks like. And I'm like, I don't want that.
No.
That is not what I don't look at that as successful. I don't look at which for them, that's fine. I'm not saying that, but for me, and it put it in such perspective of I can be in awe of their one facet of their life. But like Tony Robbins says, you can only be successful in life if all areas of your life are successful.
Yes. And that's where, as a brand photographer, I have seen behind many doors.
Right.
I have seen women Instagram versus real life. And let me tell you,
I love Instagram versus reality.
Gosh. I have walked away from so many sessions, retreats, all these things where I've been around these women and been like, I do not envy you. Do not envy you. I do not envy all your money. I do not envy your ability to just travel the world and buy whatever you want. Don't envy it. I love my life. And if this doesn't work, I will still love my life.
Right.
And as cheesy as it sounds, my number one motto, like how I live life, it's that quote, like people won't remember what you did, but they'll remember how you made them feel.
Amen.
And so I always strive to be the same person on the gram as I'm off the gram. So I don't want you to like see me on Instagram and be like, she's so funny. She's so energetic. And then you meet me in real life and I'm just this bitch. You know? That's the biggest ick in the world.
Straight-faced.
Yeah. I'd be like, I'm sorry. Maybe someday. You know? Like, maybe someday. No, people will walk up to me. They will recognize me. And I don't have like this huge following, but like locally, like people know who I am. And when they come up and I don't know who they are, I hug them. And my husband thinks it's so weird, but they think we're friends on Instagram. Right. I'm going to be your friend.
Well, when you share so much about yourselves, we're not the generation, the next one is, but we are sort of we're on the cusp of the oversharing generation. Like so-and-so had a Pepsi today, you know?
Lord. Yeah.
Like on Easy A.
Yes.
Tommy had a Pepsi.
Oh my gosh. Isn't that so hard?
No one cares, Tommy, that you had a Pepsi.
Right? And it is funny because we do, like, you have a much larger following than I do, but coming from that world of
people think they know you because you are sharing so much about yourself. They don't realize that because they know you, you don't know who they are.
Yeah. And I'm totally fine with that. I'm like, honestly, I don't like really knowing other people's stories because I have a goldfish memory. And so you could tell me how many brothers and sisters you have, and I'll be like, so you had one sister and 2 brothers, right? And that's just how I work. I don't retain information, like, unless it's a song lyric or like a chocolate brownie recipe.
Artistic content.
Yes. Like, I'm not, it just doesn't hang in there. There's just not enough room. It's like the 90s lyrics or what is it? What is that thing? It's like, I'm going to remember this. And then your brain's like, if you remember this, we have to get rid of the lyrics for the 90 ballad that you like.
No, I'm not getting rid of that.
Never mind. So yeah, that's just how my brain works. And I love people and I love socializing. Yeah. So, and I think that is the hardest thing about not really belonging to a community is like when you love socializing and I was a cheerleader in high school and I really, as dumb as that sounds, like that is a core like pillar to who I am. I love cheering people on. I love people being successful. So, and I'm always like, whatever I can do to help. Most of the time it's like, I'll be like, I'll do it for free. And people are like, you got to stop doing that.
Right,
And I'm like, I don't care. I just want people to be successful. And when you're giving out that kind of energy, I'd like to believe that it comes.
That's what the Buddhists believe.
Right. But I don't know how to start. Like,
it's hard. Your dream is not everyone else's dream.
Yeah.
And that is a door that slams in your face.
well, it's that main
multiple
character
times.
energy theory, right? Where it's like, we're the main characters. And to everybody else, we're just support characters.
Right, because they are the main character.
So you're sitting here thinking like, I'm the main character, I'm building this, and everybody should be like so proud and everybody should want it. But in their lives, they're like, oh my gosh, I am struggling. Like, I don't want to show up on social media. Nobody's thinking about me or like
Right.
my stuff. And so it's an ego check where you have to like come back and be like, it's fine. Like, I'm gonna there one way or another. But like, I see even like this, I appreciate you just taking interest in my girl. And I love that about you. From the very beginning, you have been probably the first person that I was like, you gave and you didn't ask for anything in return. And I was just like, there's someone like me out there. Like, I finally found like a me for me.
We're out there.
Yeah.
Well, and it's hard too because you have to work on your own skills as far as your own growth journey, saying no to other people, saying no to, because it is a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
That you do want to help so many other people, but it becomes exhausting.
Yeah.
It's like one of those, you give so much of yourself.
Yeah.
Then when, I think I said it to you once, right? Like, I think it was last year, you said, let's throw a party for people. And I'm like, I'm not paying to throw a party for people that don't support me. You know what I mean? I'm like, exactly. No, Amy, let me put you in check here.
No, I've gotten really good about telling people like, no, I can't take your photos right now. I'm like really busy, or I can't just give you free products because I'm not making any money. So when I start making money, I'm happy to like donate. But at this moment, I'm going to go like completely broke donating to your party. So no thanks.
I love it. Okay. So how has your background in content creation inspired you more with this project? I know, because I see it. It's made it gorgeous.
Easy. Thank you. It's made it easy. And I feel like I skipped a lot of
the hard steps.
Yeah, because like usually when people come out with a product, it's like either first you pay a designer like a butt ton, you know, and then eventually you look at it and you're like, oh, that's not me, because you don't have a vision. And so I was really able to just, I had one logo. The first package is just like really simple with the gold. And then once I kind of fell into the, no, you know, this is going to be for mommies and they're little girls. And I love wildflowers. And so I was like, I really want like to incorporate that. Then I was really able to like hone in, and I made the packing tape and I made the new logo. And so I skipped a bunch of steps when it came to branding.
It's true,
because you waste a ton of money.
Started my brand, the guy that I hired to do it, it was $800. You remember?
I remember the logos. Yeah,
it was awful.
It was like the butt of a bullet.
It was horrible.
There was something
like Yellowstone meets, and I'm like, this isn't feminine at all.
Yeah.
And he got so upset with me because no reason. He shouldn't have. He shouldn't have. That was his bad.
Yeah.
It was the second design that he was all throwing a fit about. And I just panicked. And I was like, I got bullied into it.
Yeah.
I felt bullied into it. So I paid $800.
Totally.
Got bullied into my first branding logo.
Well, and designers should know, like, the average person doesn't know what they want.
No, they don't know
unless
what they want.
There are some people that have like really dedicated Pinterest boards.
Right.
And they're like, here's inspiration, making something like that.
Right.
But most people, you don't know what you want. And you have to like stumble through, and you got to spend the money, and you got to like love it and not love it. And eventually you get to a point where you're just like, okay, I gotta stop.
Right.
And I think I'm like good with what I have now. I really liked it because at first I was kind of leaning towards this like super modern editorial chic, but that's not.
You were, but then you remembered that you had to incorporate
I was
the
like,
whole purpose
you want
of
something
this
that
was
comes
your 6-year-old.
natural. Yeah, you want something that comes natural to your own ability to create as well. If you're constantly leaning on, so like I have clients that I create for, and if you looked at their feed, it's all my work. It's all my photos. It's all my graphics. It oozes me.
Right.
And they love that. So they don't have the ability to create. But like, say you don't want to hire me anymore, then all of a sudden your stuff is just shit because you don't know how to create. So you have to learn how to create, and you have to learn how to just do what's natural to you. Otherwise, if you're constantly trying to show, I had another client, it's like, she wants to be this boss babe that wears the suit, you know, and like, with like the no bra underneath, you know, the heels and the glitter. And that is not her at all. Like, she
Really?
doesn't dress like that. And so I just kept trying to tell her, I was like, you can do these photo shoots, but it's not going to make sense. Like, you're not going to be able to upkeep this look because it doesn't come natural to you.
Yeah. So anytime
girls
you're on a story, like a
Yeah.
naturally
Yeah.
organic,
Yeah.
you're going to be a different person.
Oh, totally. Yeah. And so that's where I'm like, any kind of brand, whether it's a product or you want to be a coach or you want to be a mommy blogger, like, you have to stick with what's natural for you, because if the more authentic you are, the more people are going to love you too.
Enter photo shoot with a basket full of laundry.
I loved that idea. I loved it.
Photo shoot doing laundry.
Yes. Yes.
That's what everybody knows.
And
me
we're going to
for.
take your maternity pictures and they're going to be right on point as well.
This is what I go through the day. I did. Did you see my stories this morning? I recorded.
Yeah.
No makeup, wet hair. And I'm like, I'm doing something fun today. Like, there's a purpose to this. But really, honestly, there didn't need to be a purpose. That's me.
Real life.
I show up like that anyway.
But I think that also helps with that, like, authenticity, where people like feel like they know you because they've seen you without makeup, you know?
All the time.
Yeah.
Oh, how do you balance the creative demands of your brand with the operational challenges of entrepreneurship? Because you are a creator.
Oh, as my husband calls me, creative chaos.
Yeah.
So
and on the other side of that is bookkeeping.
Yes. So, when you say, like, I'm not good at something, and then people will come back to you and they'll be like, no, you are. That's a mental block.
Yeah.
No, I'm fucking not good at it. It's not a mental
That's
block.
what I think too about numbers and math. I'm like, no.
Like, when people
I'm just not
you're
good
just
at
telling
it.
me, and you're like, no, I know myself.
Yeah.
I will fall asleep trying to upkeep with my, like, I'm supposed to be tracking all these expenses. Like, my bookkeeper, Annie, is going to kill me. Because last minute, I will be like, and I'll spend like, oh, it's so hard. Like, I'll do really good for like 5 minutes. Like, and then all of a sudden I'm just like,
squirrel.
back streets.
Yeah, you're like, I need to create a reel.
Yeah. So
about doing the bookkeeping.
It's really hard. But what I learned from, like, watching other successful women is you delegate.
Yep.
What you're not good at, just freaking hire someone to do it. And you save time, you save money.
Yep.
So while somebody else is going to do the bookkeeping, I can be shipping, I can be talking with manufacturers,
creating your
content, because
packaging.
Social media is such a, like, content machine. And if you're not putting out, you're not in front of eyes. If you're not in front of eyes, you're not getting sales. Like, I lay there at nighttime, and, like, last night I was like, gotta do something. Like, I'm trying to, if you watch my Instagram right now, I'm trying to, this is the great thing too. Anybody thinking about starting a business, follow me, because you're literally watching from the beginning, right?
Yeah.
So you can go back and you can watch some of my reels of, like, when I was designing the products, when I'm reaching out to manufacturers. I'm still in pajamas at like 3 p.m. because I've been on the phone with China, like all these things. I was laying in bed and I was like, okay, I'm trying to really hone in on the type of content that is going to move product. And so at first we were doing, like, the funny stuff with Brooklyn and I making reels. That didn't move product. So then I'm like, okay, my ad guy said, like, hit in hard with the emotional stuff, right? So I have reels coming out now where it's like really emotional. Moms making pancakes with their little girls, moms painting nails, dads doing hair. Next, I was saying last night, and I'm like, I'm gonna get a curling iron and a flat iron. I'm going to put them on the concrete in front of Brooklyn. I'm going to make a reel of her putting on her safety glasses. She's going to pull out a giant sledgehammer and she's just going to beat the shit out of it. And then she's going to be like, don't use hot tools. Like, I'm like, let's just see. We're going to see. Maybe that will move, like the shock factor of, like, a 6-year-old just going to town with a sledgehammer on heat tools. Like, so we'll see. So it's my brain. I have to focus on that stuff or I will hate business.
Do you know what's so interesting about that is I hate that part of it. I hate it. I can't stand it. I've never done it. I've never done it for the purpose of more followers or moving product or more. I just did it. I just was like, this is my journal of my family traveling. That's all it ever was. I love that.
See, and that's the part that's, like, all you have to do for you.
But what I've seen is I don't think any of it matters. I think it's, and I hate to say that to you because you have such gorgeous content and you put so much into it.
Yeah.
I think you actually flip them out like it's nothing.
Oh,
You're
thanks.
like the easiest at it. But what I think is it's just consistency.
Yeah.
I think doing it over and over, it's like everyone says, doing even a small thing consistently over time compounds to a bigger result.
Yes. Yes and no. So if you're wanting to be an influencer, yes, you have to be consistent. It doesn't matter what you're putting out. You just have to keep putting out
so
people know to expect you. But when you're doing like a product or you're a small business like this, you have to have content that convert. Otherwise, it's just fluff. Like you're just throwing something out there and it doesn't do anything. So like a little earring company that I work for, I make content every month. I can make cute pictures of her earrings, but it's basically just for the people who are following her to stick around or to make people want to stick around. I've started adding in like funny memes, quotes, tutorials. Like I just did a DIY boo basket using their earrings.
Oh yeah. So cute.
Things like that, because you have to make people want to stick around when you're a product. Because what's to say someone gets my curler and then they don't need anything else from me? Like I want to be entertaining. I want to be funny.
You want them to come back when you launch your
So and I want to keep
other products.
Yeah, I want to stay in front of them. So I want them to like me. Like I can't help but like want people to want to like me. It's the people pleaser. So it does, your brain like has to really think. You can't just make something funny and hope that they stick, or just do a day in the life and hope that it sticks too. So you have to really focus on the type of content you're putting out and just offer that variety so that kind of include everybody.
Yeah. What are your dreams for the overarching goal of this company? Like,
oh my gosh.
Like big picture, ideal.
I have a vision, and it's a warehouse, but like like the warehouses that we have around here where they have like the offices in them too with like the big doors. And I would just want like a nice big blush color, like garage door on it, and I want 6 employees. I want a really cute front office area where people can come in and pick up the products if they're locally. A little cute shipping station. Like I want what I've always wanted, which is just a piece of something that's my own. Like I got married at 19, had kids right away. And I think through that whole process, I was constantly trying to find me. And when I go back to that little girl that I used to be, I loved color. I loved pink. I loved using my imagination. I was really creative. And I remember telling my mom, like, someday I'm going to have a house and every wall is going to be a different color. Like, that was just like, I just wanted to live in a happy, like, visually happy place. But then when you grow up and you turn into an adult and you live with a man, you can have walls that are every color.
Well, and I think we all subscribe to the compare trap. So it's like my house needs to look like that house, and that's what's in style.
Oh,
so
and my
I
husband,
have to do that.
My husband would kill me if I had like a pink refrigerator. Like he's too manly for that. You know what I mean? But I was like, should I be like,
have you seen all the new colored appliances?
Oh yes.
GE just came out with all the colored appliances.
Like I look at my 19-year-old now and I'm like, you should have a little apartment with a pink fridge and like all these things. So that essentially is like, it's another goal behind me. Like I just have this dream of having this really freaking cute, like Pinterest worthy office, and I'm like, I could do so much here, but I also share an office with my husband when he's got his razor.
It's very man side on the other side. It's very he and hims and hers.
Yeah, and here. So like even this, I like see that mess and the gyms behind us.
I love it.
But I just, I have this vision of just having this really over the top,
aesthetic,
girl place for me and my daughters, and we have like a vending machine that has like our favorite candies in it. Like I'm tapping into that like kid like wonder, because that's what I want, and then I want that for them. I know that they want it. Like claw machine, I want a claw machine. It's just like the dumb things. I'm like, we have one life. Like, what are we gonna accomplish? Like, when we're like,
why wouldn't
dead,
you have a claw machine?
I don't want a boring life. Like, I want an exciting life. I want to throw parties, even if I like have to pay people to come because I want them to have a good time too.
You love throwing.
Yeah. So I think I really have tapped into, especially like after almost dying with Brooklyn. Like both of us, I'm like, we deserve to have a life that we just like. If it's not fun, don't do it. Don't do it. There's other methods to doing it and making it. So
my husband's account, One Life So Live. For that reason, it's why are you settling for a life that someone else created that said you needed to do this? Why No one tells me what I need to do.
Exactly.
I'm very firm in that. So why would I let that affect my life?
Yeah. And I like to keep coming back to that too, because I'm like, sometimes I feel like I can be a really boring mom. And I'm like, even yesterday I was at Target. I'm like, it's Halloween. Like, I need to like step up my game with these kids. Like, they have one childhood.
Yeah.
And they can't go to the store and buy stuff to make a pinata. So I'm going to buy stuff and then we're going to make pinatas together and they're going to freaking love it. And I think that these are the things that they're going to come back to, like how I made them feel. Right. So it's like, I don't want to be the mean mom that's constantly telling them, like, go away. I'm busy. I have like, and they do have evenings where I get like, I'm so stressed trying to figure something. I'm like, you don't understand. This order messed up. And this lady used this code that she wasn't supposed to. And now she basically got $150 of things free. And I'm paying for the shipping, you know? And so I have those evenings where I get stressed, but I also like, it's always coming back to like, I want people to remember how I made them feel. And that includes my children.
Right.
And I just want to have fun. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
And that is a core value. So like, yes, Brooklyn being in the NICU and all that is like what started our path. But now the vision and the goal, the drive behind it has gotten so much bigger.
Right.
But I really do want to get to a point where I can donate to like the NICU. And like when you're a mom and you spend a lot of time.
I was going to say you should go and do like one day, pick a day, like in the NICU week, which is October. NICU month is October, isn't it? Go and put rollers in the moms that delivered that day. Because they're all going to be like,
they won't want me to touch it. If they're anything like I was, they will not want to be touched. You're so worried about your baby. But I do take cookies in for the nurses because, good Lord, some of those nurses like saved my life. Like they have such a like a mama instinct to protect you as well when you're in there in your privacy. And when I delivered, we were at the old NICU, so it was
was too.
Oh, it was horrible. We had that sheet that divided us with like another family, and like now they have these freaking suites.
I had a 9-pound NICU baby. How do you think that makes you feel? Because all these other moms have 2-pound babies in there. When Castle was in there, he was 9 pounds, and there was a set of triplets, and they were each over a pound. I mean, they were tiny.
Yeah.
And so all the nurses were like,
oh yeah, no, it was the same. They had twins.
Baby.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
they're
nice.
like, we could just
can't touch the other ones.
Yeah, the other ones, they're just like.
See, when we were in, there were
nervous.
There were twins that were so little, and they felt like they just like fawned over the twins, and I'd always be like, you know. And then there's my daughter who's like, her left lung would collapse, you know, and I wasn't there when that happened. I'd come back in, and they'd be like, oh yeah, her left lung collapsed. She stopped breathing, but I would just be like.
Yeah, you don't want to know that stuff. It's like, just if she's fine now, I don't need to know how you got it. I don't need to know how the sausage was made, okay? Is she fine now?
Yes.
Don't tell me anything else. There should be a code where you come in the door and they say, are you a want to know or a not want to know? I do not want to know. I am on a need to know.
I was like a panic mom. I was like, tell me everything. You know, it was horrible. So yeah, there's a lot of like history behind Lemon and Honey before there was even Lemon and Honey that like got us to this point.
But that's what I think that is what keeps you going though. When you find the thing.
Yeah.
So for women that are looking for that thing that are try lots of things.
Yeah.
Try them all. Like don't just say that's dumb or discredit it, but try it, because for me and for you, it was like a holy hell yes.
Oh yeah.
Like when this was presented to me, but I never thought of it before. And I look back on what I used to, like, we used to sit in the hot tub, me and my girlfriends, and we'd say what we wanted to be when we grew up.
Yeah.
And it was a journalist or a psychiatrist.
Oh, I love psychology.
Yeah. And it's so funny because I did go to school here at Dixie for journalism. I was on the newspaper and I was on the broadcasting team and everything. But I just was like, I don't really, my life, I don't want to move to a big city. I don't want to live in that lifestyle. No, my goal is more like homesteading type. So I'm not going to pursue this.
Yeah.
Well, whatever, life goes on. And here I am, like, I am a coach and I am a podcaster. I am legitimately doing exactly what I said I was going to do in that hot tub when I was 13 years old with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
And you don't know how you will come back around.
Well, and that's really hard too, exactly, because you're like, what's my story? Like, who am I? And I always saw other people that were like cancer survivors, and then they make that their whole personality.
Right.
And we're like, we get it. You survived. Like, go live life. Like, why are
Yeah.
we, I know that there's 2 points to that. Don't come at me because I know like some people feel like they need to be an advocate, but I didn't want to be the person that was like NICU warrior.
Oh yeah.
Like when you go through hard things and people are like, you're
That doesn't define
so
you.
strong. And
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not that I'm strong. You just don't have a choice when you're
Right.
going
What are
through
you
those
going to
things.
do?
But I'm also not going to make it like, I was so strong,
Right.
like I didn't. So I'm still, it's hard to talk about that with Brooklyn. And it's like about that being like our mission because I don't want that to be like defined
Right.
who I am. And I think that's why I do lean into like, it's because I'm tapping into the childhood. Look at us, like, you are a psychiatrist right now. Look
Right.
at these things you're pulling out of
I
me.
know.
Okay,
I have a way. I have a way.
but yeah,
I just don't care. I
Yeah,
just
I know,
ask.
right? Mom. So it does like that was like what put us on the path. But I was like, I didn't want it to be the definition.
No, I
of,
get
like,
that. I
why.
totally get that. That doesn't define you.
Yeah.
It doesn't, that's not your label.
Yeah.
I try to tell women that all the time. It's like, your purpose is not your labels.
Yeah.
Your purpose is not a mom.
Yeah.
That's a label.
Yeah.
That's a hat you wear.
Yeah.
So imagine you take off that hat.
Yeah. Well,
You know,
and if anything, I would have the right to be like, I'm a NICU warrior. Because if people really knew my story, it wasn't just like I had a baby a little bit early and we were in the NICU. Like, I almost died and she almost died at 30 weeks. Like, it was a whole God and angels moment. Like, I heard God, like, I was in so much pain and literally heard God's voice say, get to labor and delivery. And when we got there, I had
did your
emergency.
placenta?
They said
detach?
a nurse told me that it had abrupted, but nobody ever really. I
That's
also
what
had
it
a
sounds
tumor.
like, to have that much pain.
Yeah, I also had a tumor on my lower GI tract at the time that we knew after I delivered I was going to have to go in and get removed and test to see if it was cancer and all that. But yeah, I instantly was in so much pain, heard the voice. I told Bobby, like, you gotta go. We went there. Her heartbeat had dropped below 60. And they were like, we have to take her now. And I was just like, what? And they were literally like pulling my jewelry off of me and like pushing me to the emergency room. I did get an epidural, but things moved so fast. They poked me with the scalpel and the doctor was like, can you feel that? And I was like, huh? And the nurse was like, she can feel that. And I vividly remember her saying, like, we can't wait. And they sliced me open. My body
like
came
an
off the
episode
table.
of Grey's Anatomy.
Yes, no, my body came off the table and I blacked out. And Bobby was watching from a window behind us, so he told me the whole thing, like everything that happened. And then when I came back around, I'm assuming the epidural had kicked in because I don't remember being in pain. But I just looked at the doctor, like there was a sheet, and I was just like, "Hey, while you're in there, I have a tumor you can take out." Like. And it actually turned out to be my actual doctor, Dr. Lent. Yeah. And he was like, what's the patient's name? And they were like, Pendle. And he was like, and he removed it at the same time. Like, they gave me a C-section. But yeah, that was a terrifying. So yeah, I'm a NICU warrior.
Yeah.
But it doesn't define me. So, but if anything, it has taught me, to like live life, man. Do what you do. And
well, and the shit makes you stronger.
Oh yeah.
If you let it define you and cripple you, it will.
And when it comes to financing too, like how much money I've sunk into this and I'm not making any money, that could really mess with your brain. Like I've had a couple nights there,
especially when you have a husband telling you every day how much money you put into it and nothing's coming out of it.
And so I've had like nights, where like the panic starts to set in where you're just like, what do I do? What do I do? Like, how do I turn this around? But then I've also really worked on like my, what is it called? Like, money blocks, where I'm just like, what goes out will come back. What goes out will come back. And then I'm like, God, I hope I'm not stupid. I hope I'm not being stupid.
Faith. You have to have faith that you have a good product.
Yeah.
You have a good marketing strategy.
Yeah.
You have, it's going to work.
Yeah.
It's just going to be consistent over time.
Yeah.
That's me. I had 3 women join because October 1st, we opened back up for our membership and I had 8+ women, but on the call specifically, we had 5 on the call that night with us. And 3 out of the 5 said that they've been listening to Ryan's podcast for the last year or whatever and just kept thinking, gosh, I wish there was a women's version.
They didn't know?
No, they didn't know because nobody talked about it on their podcast. Anyway, they didn't know. 3 out of the 5.
Wow.
3 out of the 5.
Wow.
They just didn't know.
Yeah.
I've been here for 2 years.
Yeah.
And I've been putting out the podcast. I've been
Yeah.
putting out the Instagram. I've been putting out the Facebook group.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, how else can I do it? And it's just doing it. It's just getting out here and doing
see,
it.
my little
and then
marketing brain starts
it.
going in. I'm like, okay, we need to put a little PR package together for you. We need to offer
I've
a
done
giveaway.
that.
Have
I've
you?
done that. Remember, I did that huge event at Burn
Oh,
Boot Camp, and
yeah.
I've done events, and Rick's like, okay, so how many people joined from that? None. And it's like, you pay $1,000 for an event.
Yeah.
Nobody joins. And it's like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't. It doesn't make sense. So
see,
you
this
have
is why
to
you need friends that like have been in the trenches, just like you, and they can relate. Because otherwise, you just feel like a babbling brook, and you're like, oh, I don't have money, and you know, to have someone else be like, I know.
Well, and when your product, you have a product, you have a thing that's like, this is the product.
Yeah.
This is what it's worth.
Yeah.
Right. That's what you pay.
Yeah.
My product is
up here.
It's up here. They have to be brave enough to do it. First of all, women, they have to see the value in putting back into themselves, which we are conditioned not to do.
Exactly.
Like, it's like this, putting your hair in curlers.
Yeah.
Why not just put it up in a messy knot every day?
Yeah. Well, see, I got tired of my husband.
My
husband loves my hair down. And when I put it up in a bun, he's like, please put your hair down. And I'd be like, no, because it's ugly. It's wild. And so this was like a lifesaver because I can just do it. I should just take it out right now.
I was going to say, we need to take them out.
Do it. I'm going to do it.
Clip on.
Hook it up.
Clippy clip.
This is my favorite part. Okay.
Oh, no.
Did you lose your magnet? Nope. It's just magnet.
It's recording something. Okay, hang on. I got to turn off my mic real quick.
Am I still good? Yeah, I'm still good. I don't get that little record button. I think I think you're supposed to be able to put a SIM card in or something, right?
That's what it is. Yeah, I can transfer the recording so like if Kelly and I were going to be in Minnesota next week, if we want to record just in the car, we don't have service or something.
Yeah.
Just hit record.
Perfect. Okay, here we go. So I take it out in like little sections. I have learned my lesson when I first started curling.
I was going to say, I'm going to keep waiting for
I would brush my hair.
Oh,
and then it would go poof. And I'm like, why is it so frizzy? I'm like, because you don't brush. I didn't grow up with a big sister. I never learned like how to do makeup.
Oh, okay. Let me stop you right there, because if you grew up with sisters in our era, you would have had like the bangs that curled down and the bangs that froed up.
Yeah.
The feathered outsides.
Yeah.
It wasn't like our style.
I remember buying my first curling iron and like not knowing what to do with it, and I never used it. And my mom would always just French braid my hair, and I would love when I would take my French braid out.
Yeah, because then it would be so pretty.
And so that, I guess that's tapping into like something I relate to from childhood. Okay. So it's,
oh my gosh, so good.
Oh, so I did a zigzag in my hair last night when I curled it too, just to get, so I didn't just like part down the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll let these just fall naturally throughout the day. And then by this evening, I'll have Brooke Shields hair.
Brooke Shields hair. I love it. All right. I'm going to do this too. This is like,
I have this here. Let's put a big box behind you.
Welcome to the Revitalized Womanhood podcast. You should hear my episode that just went out today. Kelly and I were recording in the bedroom, and just like,
I love
the husbands were supposed to have the kids, and I heard crying outside our window, and I'm like, they're out at the fire pit. He's out here crying at the window. I'm like, what is happening? Who has control here? Oh yeah, we're going. Okay, so untie, right?
Yep.
I feel like it's probably not time yet, but I'll show you what happens.
But it will be nice. It will still be nice. This is
luckily I'm not going anywhere, so it's
no. I can already tell. See how it's like still clinging? That's a good sign.
Okay.
So little piece by piece here. Look at that.
Oh yeah, it's still damp. So
we didn't put any product in, so that will just smooth, and then it won't be frizzy.
I'm going to tell you, ladies, it's still damp. So that's what happened. This needed to dry overnight. This needed to dry. This is what we should have.
From what you started.
Oh, I know. There's still something. It looks like I actually did something. I attempted something with myself today.
Yeah. No, it looks great.
Don't even. This whole insomnia of pregnancy is starting to kick in. And so I'm like, At 1:30, I wake up and I'm like, she's awake. I can feel her. And I'm like, hello, back to bed now. And then I go back to sleep. And then at 4:30, I wake up and I can feel her. She's awake. I'm like, I'm getting a pattern. I'm sensing a pattern.
Yeah.
It's been just 4:30 every day, but today was 1:32. And I was like,
oh no. Do you have like the big pillow?
Not yet. But
okay.
Yeah, I'm just using
get out
like
the big pillow.
the king size pillow for now. But
nice.
Okay. Thank you for letting me come.
I feel like it looks way better in person than though.
It probably does.
No,
This camera is
on mirror. It looks way. Look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. Like way better.
Oh yeah.
You can see the dimension of your.
Well,
curl.
the dimension of my color. The blonde comes through with the curls. But
yeah.
I love it. I love it. But I'm telling you, look at this. I loved when you pulled it out and you were like, it's too curly for the party. You're like, it's too curly. And I'm like, that looks perfect. What are you talking about?
Wow. I loved it's like a nice like blowout look. And when it's like too tight, I'm like, oh, it takes me back to like childhood traumas with like sponge curlers. You're like, no. What have I done?
So what is the advice you would give to women who feel like there's something more to them?
Explore it. Like everybody's too scared to like fail in front of people. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Like, what if I want to be a painter? You know, like, so what if I make a couple of videos of me painting and it's really bad, and then I'm like, you know what? Actually, I'm not a painter. Like, nobody spending as much time thinking about you.
You're thinking about you more than anybody.
Try everything. Like the Zootopia movie with my kids. I'm like, try everything. Like, if it like lights you up, try it because the right thing will stick. And you'll know it's the right thing when you don't want to.
I love it. All right, ladies. Thank you so much. You can go and find your Lemon and Honey Company at Lemon and Honey Company on Instagram. Yep. Is there a website as well?
Yeah, it's lemonandhoney.co.
Lemonandhoney.co.
Yeah. Oh, so easy.
That worked perfect.
I know. I'll look out on that one.
Go get your heatless curlers and we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Thanks, lady.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.